welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelly. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Monday. Today is a special card post. A little while ago I had a viewer ask me to start posting videos that talk about my card collection. I've posted videos about my tarot card collection and my psychology and self-help. I did also do 2 other videos that were a collaboration of both a card collection review as well as a reading. Today I'm going to do another card collection kind of post. Today, Monday, December 28th, is National Playing Cards Day. And just like National Dice Day, you know, it is a national day for it. And I thought, what better time than to post a quick video to talk about the cards that I use that are playing cards. Now, I have 2 rows here, and they're in their bags. I like to make bags, so all the bags that you see here I've made using material and a sewing machine. But the first row of cards, I'm going to take them out of the bag as we go through the review. But the first row of cards are traditional playing cards, like the cards that you would play, like that you would play bridge or, you know, poker or solitaire. So these are regular playing card decks, but they have special themes to them, and we're going to go over that in a minute. Now, the second row of cards are not traditional playing cards, but they're card decks that are games. And I wanted to go over that. So we have several decks here that are a lot of fun, that are traditional, just regular card games. And I wanted to include them because they are playing cards, so to speak, but they're specific games. So we'll go through all of them. I do have timestamps listed in the description box below, so if there's a particular deck or card that you want to go to first, please feel free to click the timestamp and you can jump straight to that part of the overview. Also, all the names and the authors of the decks that I use are in the description box, so if you're interested in purchasing any of these cards, please do so. Now, the first set of cards I wanted to kind of show what it is that, yes, this is a little bit different. Again, I like to make I like to make card bags. I just feel like, I don't know, I like to sew, and it's just easy for me. It's something that I like to do, to make card bags. But the first set is actually a set of 3 playing cards, and it is in a porg bag. So as you could probably guess, these are Star Wars related cards. And I actually have 4 decks in here. Now, I've seen other readers, what it is these 4 decks are just regular playing cards, and again, I just keep them in a bag where they're all together. Now, what it was is that I've seen another reader here on YouTube have the Mandalorian cards, which is really cute. It has the child, it has Baby Yoda on it. But the decks that I have are not really modern. They're more of the older versions. And what it is that these cards I purchased together. Now, what's interesting is you'll see with playing cards, you can read playing cards when you pull out a deck of playing cards. And I actually went over it a little bit in the Jane Austen reading. In the Jane Austen reading, there is a deck of cards there that is Jane like based. And actually, let me go ahead and I will grab those. Hold on one second. Okay, we're back. Again, sometimes I keep my cards in different, I kind of categorize them a little bit. So I have this other deck with my Jane cards, because this, you'll see in a minute, they relate to that. But playing cards are really wonderful because playing cards basically can, it's basically a tarot deck without the majors, right? Without the Fool through the world. You know, because when you think about it, the Ace of Hearts is the Ace of Cups. The Ten of Spades is the Ten of Swords. And so it's basically all of the suits, and then, you know, the jacks are, sorry, yeah, the jacks, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here. The jacks can be knights, and then the kings and queens are kings and queens. And so basically, you can read it just like a tarot deck, except without the majors. And anytime you see a joker pop up, I always like to read that as either a wild card or the fool. You can read it as the fool. Now, what I love about playing cards is that there is a second way that you can read them. I have a really great book called The Ultimate Guide to Divination. I pulled out that book a little bit on in the Jane reading, and I'll list the name of it in the description box. It's by Liz Dean. But there's several really great books that you can read about reading playing cards, and playing cards. There's a different way that you can read them. There's another you can read them just like the tarot without majors, or you can read them what they call Lenormand style. And Lenormand style is where each of the cards legitimately have their own meaning. And what you do is you kind of a lot of readers on a regular deck of non specialty playing cards, they'll sometimes write the meanings down on it because they do have a slightly different meaning than what the tarot interpretation would be of it. But what I love about reading playing cards is that when you have specialty decks like this, you can take the images into account. Different playing cards can have some pretty funny images, like for instance, this just popped out, and this is the two of hearts, which is the two of cups. And actually, we're about to how to tarot on the two of cups tomorrow. But it's funny that this has Palpatine on it, a young Palpatine. And so, again, what you can kind of do is you can take the imagery into consideration. Now, I do have 4 sets of Star Wars themed. What I'm playing with here is basically I have one deck for each of the trilogies. The original trilogies. So the first set is the prequel, which has, the Queen Amidala, it has the young Anakin, it has the Qui-Gon Jinn and the Clone War kind of theme to it. The second deck that I have is actually my favorite trilogy, which is the A New Hope. It's like the original Star Wars, the 1970s version Star Wars, which, of course, I personally think is the best. But, Queen of Diamonds, she's so cute. But, it's funny, here in my state, our baseball team does a Star Wars day. And I actually dressed up. I had a really great jersey. I got a specialty jersey that says Skywalker on the back, and it's great because it says Skywalker 77. And I put my hair up in little Princess Leia buns. They were tiny buns. They were not like Danish size, but and I had a really great time. What I loved about that day was that I absolutely I was walking around, and they actually had a specialty company come out, and they had robots that were R2D2, and they were at least this is what I was told. I was told that they were the real replica of the R2D2s that were used in the movie, and I was stupid excited. And I'm a R2D2 girl. He's like my favorite, and of course with the newer movies, R2 hasn't been as popular because of the new movies coming out and all the new shows, Mandalorian and stuff. That I actually, while I was walking around the ballpark, I ran into R2, and I got so excited that I kind of fangirled, and I ran up to him, and I kneeled down, and I did the Princess Leia kind of pose. And what I didn't realize is that there must have been some kind of operator nearby, because the moment that I kneeled down, R2 started playing the Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I just freaked out. I had a total fangirl moment, and that was like the best moment ever for me, and that was just really exciting. So again, the middle set of deck is really my favorite, because I love the original middle trilogy. Now, the last playing card deck that I have for the Star Wars is the last. And these cards, all three of these cards are made by Cartamundi. It's a card. These are really quality card decks. If you can see that, it says Cartamundi. This is a really good card maker. I just feel like the deck quality is really nice. Now, the last deck that I bought, I actually bought them all together. I purchased this last deck before the last installment of the final trilogy. So this was before, this deck is called the Resistance versus the First Order, but it is based on the Force Awakens. And this, I really do think this is a great deck. What I'm stupid excited, what I absolutely love is that there's a lot of Stormtrooper love in this in this deck, and again, with the main characters being like former Stormtrooper. There's a lot of influence. What I love about this is that it's got the Queen of Hearts, and it's got Rey, and it's got BB-8. But what I absolutely love is that the Jokers in this deck this is what sold me on this deck, is that the Jokers in this deck are there. It's the Millennial Falcon, and it's the TIE Fighter. And oh my god, that was just, I love playing with these cards. But it is, this third one is actually under the Disney brand name. The first two are not, because I think these two were produced before the Disney acquired the rights to the Star Wars franchise. But I did do a Star Wars reading with these cards, because again, you can read the cards Lenormand style, and there are books that you can buy to learn to read Lenormand style, or you can just read them like a tarot deck without the majors. Now, the last deck I just kind of had to have for a whim. I haven't used these yet, but I'm going to. And but this was really cute. What this was is, I got this deck really kind of cheap, but I like it. It has all of the Star Wars figures. Like, these were like the 1970s Star Wars figures, and I just thought this was the coolest. Like, my sister still wants to kick my butt, because we actually did have, we are children of that era, and we actually had the Princess Leia Organa. We had the figurine, but I took her coat off, and I was still very young at the time, so we did not keep the figure, and of course now it's worth like a bucket full of money, but I don't regret it, because honestly, when you're a kid, the purpose of having toys is to play with them and to have fun with them. And yes, they can be collector's items someday, somehow. Plus, Han Solo doesn't quite look like Harrison Ford, but he's still handsome, but not quite the same. But I did just thought this was great, and again, you can always use playing cards. It's just like with dice, you can use playing cards interchangeably. You don't have to just use them for divination, but they're very good for that. So these are my Star Wars playing cards. I've seen a lot of readers have the Mandalorian ones, so I do know that there is Mandalorian card decks out there that have the child, has Baby Yoda, and it's really cute. But of course, because this was my playing card deck, and I love to make bags, this is a flannel bag with porgs on it, because who doesn't love, well, you know what, it's funny, I shouldn't say that, because I said it in the Star Wars reading. There are people who are pro porg, and there are people who are anti porg, who think they're weird. So whatever your porg preference, it is all welcome here. And what I will do is, I'll also I did have a video that I did. I let you choose one of the three Star Wars decks, and I did a reading. So I'm going to post the link to that video below. It is also on my playlist, but please feel free to check it out. I'll post it below. So those are my Star Wars playing cards. Now, the next deck, you'll notice there's a coffee theme. You'll notice that some of my favorite decks are in coffee bags. Like it's funny, my Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot is in a coffee bag. But I have two of my favorite coffee decks in this. And what it is it's actually a deck of, it's called House Blend. by Bicycle. And then we also have not Star Wars, I'm sorry, I'm still on the theme there, Starbucks cards. And I actually bought these at Starbucks, and these are really, really cute. Now, the Starbucks cards, I really don't know the maker. There's not really, all it says is, 2018 Starbucks coffee. There's not really like a printing house with it. But what I love about it is that, it has all of the cards. I think it's great because all of the hearts and diamonds are kind of warm colors, and all of the clubs and spades are cool colors. I think the court cards are just freaking adorable. Each of the kings and queens are holding a coffee cup, and the kings look different from one another. They look, there's definitely a difference between like the queens. And, I just think they have a lot of personality. The cardstock's really nice. It's kind of a little bit, it's like a smooth kind of satin finish, and they shuffle really well. Now, the card back is a coffee cup, so the one thing is that there's something called a reversible card back, and what that would be is that if it's upside down, you can't, with the card back that's reversible, it's the same image whether it's in the upright or in the reverse, so you really can't tell if a card is upside down or not. And this is so interesting. I'm seeing a lot of themes between the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. That's been coming up a lot lately. And that's been coming up in other reads with other readers this week. I'm not sure if there's some kind of like theme going on. Oops, I just mixed up all of my cards here. Let me get them straight. But this is a really cute deck. It was like, it's not expensive. It was like $8. It was under $10. And these are really great, these are really great for, they're a little bit waterproof. I wouldn't say like submerge them in water, but I do think that they're of the card type where if you did take them to a pool party or, I'm not saying submerge them in water, but I think that they're durable in the sense that you could take them outside, or, that they're splashable without getting damaged, which is nice. But those are really, really cute, and they're a deck that I use quite a bit. You've seen me use them in a few of my card reads before. And I am going to try to be better. Maybe I'll start using my playing cards as clarifiers. Now, the Houseblend deck is really good. This is Bicycle Brands, which is, of course, is a world-renowned card playing, playing deck company. So again, same real satin back. The card quality is really nice. Now, what's interesting is, these cards shuffle like butter. And what I really like about it is this does have a reversible card back, where it, just like you see, if it's in the upright or in the reverse, you can't really tell because the same images on either side, right? So it's, all of these cards are, it's not like only when you get into the court cards or the jokers would you be able to tell if something is upside down, or the aces. Now, the only one thing is that, just like with this, you had blue colors for two of the suits and then warm colors for the other. There are two colors with this deck, but what it is that this is almost kind of like a very light kind of milk brown, and this is a darker brown, but the two colors are so close, like you can see. It's like you really have to kind of stare at it, or you really have to kind of scrutinize you have to look and see, is it a club, is it a diamond, to tell the difference, between what suit it is. There are two jokers, and they're just regular jokers. They one has colors and one does not. But these are it's a really beautiful deck. And again, if you're a coffee lover, or Ten of Cups, there you go. If you're a coffee lover, or you're just, somebody who's a coffee enthusiast who like to play cards, or, like to play bridge, or, poker, these are both really, really good ideas for that. These are both really, really cute. And again, I keep them together since they're both coffee themed, if I need to grab it. And you do see me. I used this deck on National Coffee Day, actually. I think I might have done a separate read with them, but I'll definitely try to find the posts for it. Now this next deck is also in a coffee bag. It's not a coffee deck, but again, I like to make bags, and this one just came out so darn cute. I was going to use it as like a Christmas envelope, but I liked it so much I decided to keep it. So yep, that's me being selfish. Now this is another bicycle deck, and this is really great. This one's called Stargazer. And I just thought it was beautiful. First off, I really like blue colors, and this is like blue and teal and purple. The other thing is that my first name begins with an S, and I thought that the swirl looked like an S, so of course I loved it. Now what's amazing is this deck looks like, the images look like they're glowing, right? And that is just badical, right? Now, just like the other deck, there's not really a difference. You know, you have to kind of look at it to say, okay, that's a diamond or that's a club, because there's no color difference to determine. Now, I will come out and say it just to be honest. Every once in a while, I will come across a deck that, and I refer to this as a smelly card problem, and I'm sorry to say it this way. I know that sounds really crazy, but in card reading, the more that you buy an insane amount of cards, you know, the way I do, because it's part of what I do, and actually I can still kind of smell it. It's light. It's not too bad. Every once in a while, you'll get a deck that just smells like it's not dry, you know. And actually, there's some really great videos about how it might not be Bicycle. It's another card company. I thought it was, but maybe it was Bicycle. But there's a great video here on YouTube that shows you how cards are made. And traditionally, when cards are made, they are cut. You know, it's kind of fascinating. You know, me as, you know, being a paper lover, when cards are cut, they're laid out to dry. And what I'm really kind of getting is that I really think that sometimes when cards are created, maybe some kind of step got skipped in the drying process, or you know, something got rushed where maybe this batch didn't get adequate time to be finished, or maybe you know, just like photo finishing. You know how sometimes you get just a group of pictures that just doesn't look right, right? So, but this card deck, I love the style. I love how it like seems to glow, because again, it's a flat deck, but the image, the coloring just makes it look like it's glowing. Um, and but so the pros are that it's very celestial. It seems to glow. The cons are that, you know, there's no difference in colors, so you do have to kind of scrutinize to see what suit that you're actually getting. And so, you know, if you're playing solitaire or something like that where you have to, you know, go alternate colors, it might be a little harder for you to discern. And then the only other thing is that, I think this might just be with my deck. I don't think it's with every deck that you would purchase of this. Mine did come out a little smelly. I've run into a few decks like that. I remember one time I bought the After Tarot, and it had that problem. Usually you can kind of fix it by laying out the cards maybe in a box with some either, like, if you put it in the box with maybe one of those boxes of baking soda. You know, Arm & Hammer has those little deodorizer boxes. Either that, or again, if you just kind of lay it out to dry for a little while, it kind of aerates. You know, if you have a garage, you could lay it out on a table. But most of the time I don't have that problem, but I've run into it just periodically with certain decks. So and it just makes me a little conscientious, because I don't like to feel like there's any chemical residue, and the smell does kind of affect. But I've never had that problem with any of the other decks here. So and again, it's no fault to the maker. I think that maybe it was just, you know, maybe it was in manufacturing. You know, you have bad batches sometimes. Now, the next deck is familiar because we talked about this deck in the Jane Austen reading, so I won't go too in-depth with it, but I'm just going to go over it again. This is the Jane Austen playing cards. And the maker of this deck actually has a choice of two different card backs. One is the copper back, which is this kind of warm chocolate brown. And they do also have a gold back, which is the same image but more of gold tones. And what I love about this deck is that it does have the difference in colors. So of course you've got red and black, which is great. If you're using these cards as regular playing cards, you know, you can gladly line it up and at a glance see which card you have. You do have jokers, which are great, but what I love about this is that every single card, all of the aces, the kings, and the queens, the aces and the court cards all have characters. Like they all have images of one of the characters in Jane Austen's book. Also, the jokers are funny. They are also characters in the book, but they're kind of they put the ridiculous kind of characters like Mr. Collins and Lucy Steele. Those are the jokers in this deck, which I think is really kind of fun. And when I keep the jokers in because when the jokers come out, they tell me a lot about the read. But what I love is that all of the minors have quotes from Jane Austen. And I'll post the link. We just celebrated Jane Austen's birthday on the 16th of December. And I'll post the link to the video because I use these cards in the reading. But I absolutely love it because the quotes speak so much to me. I really understand. I understand Jane's story so well, and it just gives me a really deep read. So a lot of times I'll pull these decks out to clarify. I don't even, sometimes I don't even need the rest of my Jane decks. I'll just grab this on the fly. Like the Seven of Spades is like the Seven of Swords. I hate to hear you talk about all women as if they were fine ladies instead of rational creatures. None of us wants to be in calm waters all of our lives. And two of clubs. I always deserve the best treatment because I never put up with any other. See, I really love that. There's some really great quotes in this, and again, you could really read this anyway. I do need to get stronger with reading it kind of Lenormand style. I'm still learning the Lenormand meanings, but either way, you can read it as. You can read it as tarot style, and it reads very well that way. But especially this deck because it has the quotes. I like to read the quote and interpret it based on the card number and the suit and the element in it. So that's a wonderful deck, and it's not expensive. You can find it on Amazon, and that's such a really good deal. So there's one last card deck that's not shown here. I actually asked my mom. I requested this for as a Christmas, as a holiday gift this year. It is in transit, so I'm not worried about it. I think the post office and in the post office in North America is working really hard this time of year, so they're a little bogged down. So I'm not worried. It'll be a nice gift when it gets here. But I asked my mom to send me a deck of dog playing cards, and they're really cute. It's made by a company called Artiphany, I think, if I'm saying it right, and it's cute. All of the suits are dogs, so it's my dog playing deck. I might pull it out for National Dog Day, but I'd had my eye on that deck, and granted I have a million cards, but my mom asked me, what can I get you, and I wanted her, she wanted to get me something fun that wasn't too expensive, so she sent me the dog deck, and we're still waiting for my doggies to come in, but they're so adorable. One of the cards even shows like a dog digging holes. I think it's the diamonds, and I just thought that was the cutest thing ever. So I can't wait for that deck to come in, and that's going to be one more addition to the playing card side. All right, so now we're going to move to the second part of the reading. The second part of the reading is still playing cards, but it's not playing cards in like the, card game kind of sense. These are different types of playing cards, so they're not like, it's not like clubs and spades and things like that. These are just going to be regular playing game kind of, game cards. Now, this deck we also reviewed already on the video Psychology and Self-Help. And I went into a very thorough introduction there, so if you want to check it out. But just these are the actually curious cards. And what it is this was created by an ad executive in New York City. Ad executives or anyone who works in advertising, they are very well versed on how to sell you something. And they also know, it's almost like I feel like they're so good at symbols because they understand how to reach people. They also, when you think about it, when someone's trying to sell you something, what you buy is really based on it's based on your wants, but it's also based on your beliefs and your perceptions. And I know that sounds kind of heavy because you think, oh, okay, well, if I need a toothbrush, I'll buy a toothbrush. But that's true. But when you think about it, how many times have you been watching television and just the advertisement for something really sold you, right? Because it's selling, if you see all these kids playing outside in the snow and then they come inside to have a hot cup of soup, it isn't so much that they're selling you hot food on a cold day. It's like they're almost selling that moment to you, right? And what I thought was interesting about these cards is that this creator was thinking about how people really don't connect as they used to. And when you think about it, it's kind of true. When you come home, you're on your phone. Nobody really sits around the dinner table so much anymore. And it's like, how do you make connections with people? The other thing is, I think a lot of people are very introverted now with the advent of social media. We all kind of hide behind our computers. We post, we put reviews out there and we put posts on things and we like things and we heart things. But how often do we actually sit down and ask someone, so what do you think about Greenpeace? What do you think about taxes? What's your belief on this? Because the other thing is that it's become so controversial to ask someone what they believe, right? But the creator of this deck created a deck because he wanted a card game for families, for friends. This also could be, I use this card to pull a card for myself. Just a way to ask other people deep questions and get a deep answer. So like, for instance, it says, do you think about your environmental footprint? Why or why not? Right? And actually, this would be a very deep question for me, what is the difference between appreciation and appropriation, right? Let's see here. What's the most important thing that was omitted from your education growing up? So what was the most important thing that was missing from your education growing up? So you see, these are really, really deep questions. What is something you pretend to know about and why? So what's interesting is that I pull these cards just as like self-analysis questions. You can also use this as a formal card game. Like, what the goal of the game is for one person to pull the card and for everyone else to listen, right? And to really listen. The other thing is that they talk a lot in psychology about how when you're introverted, introverts don't like small talk, right? The reason being is because introverts have really deep feelings, but they just don't come out and communicate them very often. And the reason that they don't communicate them very often is because, interaction nowadays is pretty surface, right? It's like, so how was your day? It was good. How's the weather? Oh, it's nice. It's raining. Oh, that's good. Okay, thanks, bye. How often do you come up and say, what is something you pretend to know about and why? Right? When you ask a deep question, Yes, it takes a little bit more time to get an answer, but a lot of times you get a deep answer, right? And this is what really helps people feel heard. It helps you ask. It's a good way to open up your own mind, so you can pull these cards for yourself, or you can play it as a playing card game with family or friends, as a way to really get past the, how was your day? Oh, it was good, So that's a really great playing card game. Now, it's a little bit pricier. The price point is a little higher. It's around $25-$30, but it is available on Amazon. And again, if you're looking for a game, goodness knows we have card games nowadays that are like, um, there's card games that are a lot deeper, that aren't afraid to talk about, really deep subjects. So, but I thought those were really great, and they are very psychological cards, but you can definitely play it as a regular playing game. Now, the next deck I have not used so much. I got these, I bought these cards, at a discount, so they were not expensive at all. But it's called the Emoji game. And I am going to pull out these cards soon. I did want them to just kind of be a fun addition. But what it is that you have different emotions. And here it says the Feeling Cheeky set. So what it is there's a set of 5 emoticons, right? And I think the moral of the game, there's a rule book that I need to pull out, but I think the goal of the game is to get all 5 in the same set, get all of the cheeky cards, get all of the rage cards. But what I thought was fun is that all of them have colors. And, I've talked before that, you can read colors in a reading. If something's more pink, it might be more receptive. If something's more green, it could be more heartfelt. But these emojis have a range of feelings, like feeling sad, or feeling confused. Feeling cool is pretty funny. The feeling cool set is funny. You've got like the mustache guy, you've got the mohawk guy. The feeling poorly set can be feeling sick, feeling happy, or feeling scared. But what it is it's all of those different emotions. Now, what I thought was cute is that there are different emoticons. Like here you see someone being kind of kissed on the cheek and looking surprised, and then you have someone blowing kisses. Oh, here's the other cool guy with the sunglasses. But um, but what you have here is that I thought just like oh, this is kind of cute. There is one card that says I'm feeling all mixed up, and this emoji can be used with any set, so it's almost like a wild card. But I just thought it was cute because each of the emojis are different. If you are getting several of the same suit or the same set, it might be a theme. I thought it might be a good way to use to clarify either really any type of read, and maybe it's a way to kind of analyze your own emotions, or clarify the emotions of a romance read, of a question read. Maybe you're asking about a family member. But it's really kind of, I thought it was a cute deck, and I thought, I think I got it for like $3, and I was like, okay, why not. I haven't used it yet, but I wanted it to just kind of be like a fun addition. And so I thought that would be something cool to use to help clarify decks. But again, just like we said, you can use it just as a playing card, just as a regular card game. Now, the next deck is really, really special to me. I've had this deck for a really long time, and I actually play this game. I use it in card readings, and I play the game. And what this is this is my Harry Potter Uno set. And I made the bag, and the bag has little snitches and broomsticks and glasses on it. I actually made another bag that had the Marauders map on it. It says, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. But I gave that bag to a friend because the bag was longer. It was more like tarot size. So, and I liked this bag better for the set. I thought it went well. But this is Harry Potter Uno, and I actually have the rule book right here. I probably need to laminate this because it's getting all worn out. I play this with my niece all the time. Actually, I think we usually play it around the holidays. It's copyright 2000. I don't think that they still make it anymore. I think I have seen it on like Amazon. But what it is it's regular Uno cards. And what's great about it is it has the four colors. It has red, yellow, green, and blue. And of course, you can separate it by the houses. You know, you can say burgundy is Gryffindor, green is Slytherin, yellow is Hufflepuff, and blue is Ravenclaw. I sometimes go by chakra colors when I'm reading. Like I might say blue is the throat chakra, green is the heart chakra, yellow the solar plexus, and red is the base. But however you read it, you can do an entire reading because they have numbers, so you could read it like you can use this in more of a numerology sense. There are images on it, so like there's a dragon for the fours, Harry's the one, Bertie Bott's beans, Snape. They do have the regular skip and wild cards, and they have the draw fours. What I think is great about this deck is that they have two special cards. They have the Howler and the Invisibility Cloak. And those are two specialty cards for this deck. And technically what it is a wild card where you can change the color. But when you throw out the Invisibility Cloak, it means that you can block somebody who's trying to make a move against you. And then the Howler not only changes it, so like if someone's about to go out, if someone has one card and is about to, win, you can slap down the Howler. They have to tell you what card they have or show you their card, and then you can change the color. So and it's really great. It has like the sorting hat, and but it was really cool on July 31st. It's Harry Potter's birthday, and so I did a special reading, which is what is your Harry Potter energy. And just like the others, I will post the link down below. It was a really fun read. And it was amazing. I got some really specific messages from that reading. I thought it was really cool. But I went ahead and I let you, the viewer, choose from one of four houses. And you didn't have to go with your house, even if you knew what, I know so many people have taken the test. I'm a Hufflepuff. So is my little niece. But I just thought this is such a great game. And when we talk about playing cards, you can play it as regular Uno, or you can read it in a more divination sense. It's really quite cool for that. Now, last but not least, we have, you can see I made this bag. And as you can tell, this is another playing card deck that is themed. And what this is Pokemon playing cards. Now, these are specific playing cards because what it is that Pokemon has several different kinds of decks. Like, there's different versions of the Pokemon game. And what I have here is that I really loved the movie Detective Pikachu. And so all of my cards are from the movie. So none of my cards are the cartoon Pokemon decks. You can absolutely use that variation, but all of the ones I have are, from the movie. So they're all Detective Pikachu. Now, what I thought was so cute is that, what it was is that I had been given, I'd been given gifts that were based on the movie, and with it came packs of cards, that were from that movie, and I ended up collecting quite a few of them. And I'm not really a card collector, but I just thought it was great. I thought, oh, okay, wow, look, I've got Mewtwo, I've got a Magikarp, I got a Charizard. So I really ended up with some pretty valuable cards, and I didn't want them to go to waste or just kind of sit on a shelf and not get any use. And ooh, Snubble. Play rough. That's funny. But what I decided to do was there is actually a National Pokemon Day. I think it's more in the summertime. And again, why read playing cards? Because we can, And so what I did is I did do a special reading for Pokemon Day. So as you can tell, I've done a special reading for just about all of these card decks. And I just thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. It was a different way to read cards, and that was a really great reading. I had a lot of fun. And you do like you got Machamp, got a Bulbasaur. I love a Bulbasaur. Oh, Mr. Mime. I feel like Mr. Mime every single time. That one time that I lost all of the audio, like my actually now that I think about it, is yes, my microphone is on. Thank goodness. Um, there was one time I was totally filming and it was a great read. Like the cards were just flying out, and then my microphone wasn't fully charged and it died on me halfway through. And then I ended up doing a voiceover for the second half of the video, and oh my gosh, that was a Mr. Mime moment because I was like, what? Round house, house round. What? Like I didn't even know what I was doing. My hands were just everywhere. So imagine watching your video with no sound. It's completely frustrating. It turned out okay. We managed it, but it was crazy. But I thought it was the reading for the Pokemon was really a lot of fun, and we really did get a lot of meaning out of it. And again, just going with the imagery, going with the action, going with the color. It just really Greninja. There we go. you know. Here you go. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attack, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. So it was a lot of fun. And so, again, my point in going through all these is that it doesn't matter what type of card game it is. It can be, so it's really quite fun. I encourage you to kind of go through your decks, maybe pull out a Uno deck or, pull out a playing card deck that you have. Maybe it's a different type of game. I bet you could read cards with Cards Against Humanity, or, you could really read any type of playing cards that there are. So I just thought that was fun. And again, I collected, these group of cards, and instead of just, by all means, you can still save them and use them as collector's items, but in the meantime, you can actually use them for card reading in kind of a fun way. But wow, guys, so that's my collection. I thank you so much for joining me. I definitely will. Of course, we're going to see one edition. I think National Dog Day is kind of mid-year, but you'll see my new deck when that day comes around. And as you see, playing cards are really versatile. It's a fun way to throw cards, and again, you don't have to spend a lot of money to have some fun and do some self-reflecting. You can really use the materials that you have on hand, and it's a good time. But I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you have a wonderful National Playing Cards Day. Maybe you get a chance to play some cards with someone. Go Fish, or another really good card game. You can use Go Fish or Old Maid. That's a really one. Again, any card game that is out there, you can have fun with. So I hope you get a chance to maybe play some cards today. If you're so inclined, please join me tomorrow. We're going to be continuing with the How to Tarot, and we're going to be doing a really fun one of the best cards in the deck. We're going to be talking about the Two of Cups. So I hope you can join me then, and I'll see you later. Bye.